Did I think a year ago that I'd be in Canada in the Yukon fly fishing on the North Klondike River? No. I mean, I was hoping that I'd be doing some traveling, but I don't know. My imagination did not lead me to this. There's an actual sunrise happening. I got out of the Jeep because I had to pee. And there's a sunrise. I'm getting back in the Jeep. That was an amazing thing to see this morning. I can't believe sunrise actually happened. It's 5 o'clock in the morning and sunset at about 1. So, not much night, but a little bit of an actual night. Oh, there goes my light. It's not actually time for me to be awake yet, so I'm going to chill out for a minute. We'll get back to you. All right, guys, it's still a bit early, and it's a bit breezy, and there's still clouds hanging over the valley, which is just beautiful. But it's time to head to town, because I think it's late enough now that coffee shops are going to be open, and I'm going to go get a coffee and a pastry. And by town, I mean Dawson City. We are just inside the Yukon at Dawson City, and the plan is to take the Dempster Highway all the way to Tuktoyaktuk on the Arctic Ocean. I will not be getting all the way to the Arctic Ocean today. It's a 12 to 13 hour drive, and I will probably break that up into 3, maybe even 4 days. Kind of depends on what we see along the way. It's only about 15 minutes to town, which is awesome. Lovely wild campsite right outside of town. I mean, it's a small town, but still, lovely wild campsite really close to town. Look at this, just clouds blanketing the valley. Oh, that is so beautiful. Of course, we're descending into that, so it's going to be a little overcast when we get into town. It is pretty cloudy this morning in Dawson City, as expected, but I suspect it'll also burn off pretty quick. Well, sort of quick. The sun doesn't get that high in the sky. Dawson City is like seriously well preserved. A lot of the buildings are owned by Parks Canada, which preserves them. And yeah, they're much like they would have been back in the gold mining days, late 1800s, early 1900s. I mean, there's still gold mining here, but not quite like it was. This building needs a little work. You see the little danger stuff. This building is actually wavy and wonky. Dawson City also used to be the capital of the Yukon, and that's why it's built up so much. But they moved the capital to Whitehorse. But you still have cool old buildings here that survived. This building behind me is the rather famous or infamous Downtown Hotel. And they're famous because they have a cocktail that they serve here called the sourdough cocktail, maybe. I'll put the name of it up here. But you take a shot of liquor that contains an actual preserved human toe in it. And it's one of those rites of passage when you come to Dawson City, but yeah, no way in heck am I doing that, because I am familiar with prion diseases, and I'm pretty sure that those are not deactivated by alcohol. So not something I would do. And I have a high threshold for things I would do, but placing my lips upon dead human flesh is not one of those. It seems a little fitting that the mortuary is right next to the downtown hotel. Yeah. And Parks Canada has a little display of old medical stuff, which is always interesting. And that is the SS Keno, which is a paddle wheeler that used to ply these waters. This is where we're headed for coffee. I have my coffee. I have the lovely Yukon River behind me. And I got a breakfast sandwich. We'll resume walking around after I eat my sandwich. It's good. Just walked up from my little gazebo onto this walking path that they have along the Yukon River. And I'm walking back to the SS Keno because I think they might have an informational sign. It's closed right now because it's still early, but maybe we can find out more about it. Oh yes, all kinds of informational stuff. But do they have something about the Keno? She was used to haul silver, lead, and zinc ore to Mayo, which is a town north of here. And then bigger stern wheelers were used to carry that further down the Yukon. So she was a local ship. Is there a difference between a stern wheeler and a paddle wheel boat? I mean, paddle wheels have their wheels at the stern as well. Maybe it's just a specific term that they use up here. I don't know. But I've always called them paddle wheelers. Maybe I've been calling them the wrong thing. Look at this little grass thatched tiny little cabin. The roof is right there. This is the Danoja Joe. It's the cultural center of, hang on, Klondike River people. No, I don't know if I even came close, but I'm trying. It's the original people of this land who have lived here for 9,000 years. And they got somewhat displaced from their fishing grounds when all the miners came. But it looks like they are trying to essentially reintegrate this ancient culture back into the city. Wherever you go, the signs are in English and in Han. So, Ho-in-J. I think that's how you pronounce that. Some of the stores have goods marked in the Han language as well. And I think that's pretty cool. They've done a really nice job of restoring that old theater. I love how they've done it in natural wood as opposed to paint. I mean, maybe they're going to paint it down the line, but it looks really good in the natural wood colors. There aren't many people cruising around town right now. Still early. But if you come here, be prepared to have some chats with the people who are wandering around. I've talked to like 3 people, just stopping on the sidewalk and chatting. It's that kind of town. I like it. Just thinking that some of the friendliness of the people may be due to the fact that 2 out of 3 had dogs, and I'm like, dog, I need to say hello to your dog. That probably helps. I have a few errands to do while we're in the city. Get gasoline, get cash, which I already got, get some groceries, and get a shower. Heading down the street to a campground that has token showers. That's $4 for 5 minutes, which is a little pricey for a 5-minute shower. This is the place, the Gold Rush Campground. Just gotta figure out where I can park. They have squeezed a campsite at every conceivable spot in that campground, so there's no place to park. So we are parked on the street. Found the shower. It's acceptable. Okay, that's better. Now let's go get some groceries. Of course, I didn't write a list, so I have no idea what I need. Ooh, olives. I think we will get some olives. It's a little bit of a maze in here. It took me a minute to find the bread aisle, but I found it, and they've got good bread. I think I could use a slightly larger fridge. Or maybe better food planning. But probably a slightly larger fridge. I've gotten everything I need, probably, because I didn't take a list, but I think I've got what I need. And I'm gonna get gas on the way out of town. So I think it's time to get to the Dempster Highway. Get to Tuktoyaktuk. Expensive gas has been acquired. It's $1.90 per liter. It was $101.38 Canadian to fill my gas tank from about 3/4. Kind of pricey. Even with the exchange rate, kind of pricey. I guess I should load up a map or something because I have to turn off the highway we're on somewhere. From Dawson City, it's about 30 kilometers on the Klondike Highway before you get to the Dempster. And I just stopped for one of their little, take a picture, scenic overlook things. And it's for a mine tailings pile. Not even kidding. Tailings piles. There's some cool rusty stuff up there, but yeah, that's what mine tailings look like. Piles of rocks. I'm guessing they chose that spot as a scenic informational spot because it looks like there's mine tailings for a while on both sides of the highway. And they probably were just getting tons of questions about what the heck is up with all these rocks on the side of the highway. That's my guess. We made it to the Dempster, y'all. Just a lot of miles now between here and the Arctic Ocean. Roar-har, man, a roar-har. Do I recognize any stickers? There's not so many stickers on here as there have been on other signs. There were a couple of people at the sign before I got there, and they had just finished the highway and did a couple of shots of some kind of liquor that made them go big dip in the road. And our first speed limit sign, 90 kilometers per hour. We're not going 90 kilometers per hour on a road that goes like this. And has potholes all over the place and gravel. We are passing our first vehicles. I am going to the right. I'm going really slow. But man, they are kicking up some serious dust. And rocks. That's why you slow down so you don't kick rocks onto other people. Much like the Dalton, until we get to the Arctic Circle, or above the Arctic Circle, we're going to be driving through forests. I think that is Tombstone Territorial Park. And it's gorgeous. Beautiful mountains. And the way that the light is hitting them right now. Really lovely. We're camping not too far from Tombstone Territorial Park, I think. Pretty sure I planned it that way. And hopefully we can do some hiking in there. Not today, tomorrow. But yeah, pretty excited about that. It looks way more impressive than it ever did in pictures that I've seen of it. We are, I think, potentially going to be camping in the rain. Those clouds ahead definitely look like rain. And it has started to rain, but it looks like over there might be some blue skies beyond. I'm only like 22 miles in, but this road is in surprisingly good shape so far. Like it's not even, oh, there's some washboard. I was gonna say it's not even badly washboarded. There are spots, but it's in pretty good shape. We're entering Tombstone Territorial Park and Ragged Mountain Land. I like the sound of that. I'm pretty sure this is a really big park, but I'm firing up the Starlink to see if my intended camp spot is further than I want to go. Because I would like to explore the park, and I think my intended camp spot is a bit past the park. And I don't want to have to backtrack. So, firing up the Starlink. Still waiting for Starlink to load up because we're in a northern latitude, and for whatever reason, the further north I go, the slower Starlink works. I don't know. But I am changing campsites from where I was originally going to camp, because the one I was going to camp at means I would have to backtrack it back into the park. And given that this road is, let's see, do some reading for a second. 363 kilometers or 226 miles to the first gas station. I don't want to backtrack. Now, I certainly have enough capacity in the tank for that, but it makes me nervous coming, because you never know. What if I use more gas for some reason than I normally do? Putting on four-wheel drive, or having to turn on the AC because it's ungodly hot and there's mosquitoes. So, no backtracking. Starlink is taking forever to boot up, but I can get on my map the location of a campsite by putting the coordinates in, and that's where I am. Because the GPS still works, but it can't connect to the internet to give me driving directions. But I can watch my little dot on the map move closer to where the potential campsite is. And this is not the campsite I was actually planning on. The campsite I was planning on is further down the road, and I didn't realize how far it was beyond the territorial park. So I'm getting something that's kind of just inside the territorial park, assuming there's room for me and nobody else is taking it, because it looks like a really small campsite. I have the feeling this might also be a very mosquito-y campsite, and there's definitely a little mud. but let's check it out. I think the campsite is beyond where this water goes. Let me check it out. Okay, that looks like it might get kind of deep, but I'm gonna pull up my pants. And take a little walk. Whew, it's cold. But this looks really nice and rocky and firm. That'll be fine to drive through. That is glacially cold water. My feet are very cold now. I'm gonna feel really dumb if I get stuck in this. I'm gonna go take another walk because that totally looks like it could be super soft, muddy stuff. Probably should have grabbed my bear spray. Yeah, some of this is gonna be a little mucky, but some of it's okay. Don't know how far back it goes to get to, ooh, mosquito, an actual camp spot. I'm gonna grab my bear spray and just walk a little further. Got my bear spray and my Garmin. With the growth of plants in this little center spot, I'm thinking nobody's driven back here in a long time. At least not this season. And I think this isn't the actual pin on iOverlander. I think it's just a little bit down the road. I think I jumped the gun. I saw a place to turn and was like, ah, that's probably it. Oh, that's gonna be muddy. Somebody else got out here and walked. There's human footprints. That goes a ways and it would probably be fine, but I can see, you can see how deep this footprint is, and it's pretty deep, which means there's a non-zero chance I could get stuck. And I'm at a spot right now where I can turn around and head down the road a little bit and check out what I think is the real campsite. Oh, the mosquitoes are invading the Jeep. Because I was done and I left the window down. Got one 30 minutes after I booted it up. Starlink has finally started up, and yeah, the actual spot is a little bit down the road, but oh, we're going through the water again. There's a very nice river that we're driving by. I don't actually know what river that might be, but looks like a nice river, and it's going to be the same one, just about 200 yards down the road. So that road connects to the road I was just on. But this one has a nice little camp spot right on the river and right in Mosquito Central, but we can deal with that. I am gonna set up like the full camp, and I'm gonna find my shirt that's treated with permethrin and put that on, and probably break out the bug net and the whole 9 yards, because the mosquitoes are not crazy, but they're present. Oh, it's really full of dirt and gunk. There we go. I threw my bug net over the whole thing because there are openings between the Jeep body and the tent. So I'm doing what I can to keep out the mosquitoes and the horseflies. There's some big, nasty horseflies that are trying to bite. I will 100% be fishing in that river. I got my Yukon fishing license. I just need to look up and see what river it is so I can make sure I'm following the correct regulations for the river. I'm going easy. I got some good bread at the store today, so I'm gonna have a slice of chunky bread. What is that salad called that I'm making? With tomatoes and mozzarella, caprese salad. I'm gonna make a caprese salad. I am, however, out of basil. I totally thought I had basil, so I didn't pick up any at the store because I forgot that I got rid of it before I crossed the border because I had basil. This is just how things go. And got my hair up because it is hot. What is it with Alaska and the Yukon being hot? This isn't exactly cooking. This is just making some food. And that works really well for camping because a lot of times you don't want to cook and it's too hot to cook. I'm just doing half, and I'm gonna make half for lunch tomorrow. Et voila, the mozzarella is prepared. I'm using cherry tomatoes because they're actually really handy for a lot of things. But for this salad, it works better if you cut them all in half. This is a perfect camping meal. It's got protein, it's got vegetables or fruit or whatever the heck tomatoes are. Add some bread, so you have some carbs. Not that you need the carb part, but I like carbs. And the cheese is actually filling. Like, it's enough cheese. Dropped another tomato. It's enough cheese to be quite filling. This is where the magic happens. Salt, 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 salt. Pepper, 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 pepper. I've got my olive oil and all my other oils in these little restaurant thingies. They haven't spilled at all in the Jeep, and I've been traveling around with them in the Jeep for 7 months. So I think that's a successful test of these things. And good vinegar. So this is like the super expensive sweet vinegar. It is so good. I mean, you could use regular vinegar of some kind, but yummy balsamic vinegar, aged a lot, is the best. And I just, put on how much feels good, and then we stir it up. That's it. Well, you would add basil if you remembered to get basil when you were at the store. But I did not remember that. So I'm gonna eat this and have a nice piece of chunky bread. And too bad about the basil. But this hits its spot. It's easy. All of these things, tomatoes keep well at room temperature. Mozzarella, I mean, technically should be refrigerated, but it's forgiving. And my mozzarella is refrigerated, but that's it. I was going to say it's not the most reliable refrigerator, but it actually is a reliable refrigerator. I just don't always reliably have enough electricity to have it running 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. But I don't worry if my refrigerator temperature goes down to like 50 or 60, your mozzarella is still going to be fine. Or if you have a cooler and you're not sure quite how cool it stayed, it's probably fine. Don't get your food safety advice from me, because I do kind of stretch food safety a little bit, but I have not had any problems keeping soft cheeses at slightly warmer temperatures than a fridge. I go backpacking with soft cheeses, which probably you shouldn't do. I don't know. You know what I'm going to choose? I'm going to choose one of these guys. I think these are caddis flies. I think that's what they're called. I obviously don't know my flies. My dad set me up with a box full of flies. But the reason I am choosing this one is because I have noticed this is what the mosquitoes here look like. They're like these little fluffy things. They look a little different than mosquitoes in Wyoming and Colorado. So we're going with a little caddis fly, because I'm sure what's ever in the water is eating mosquitoes. And this is what they look like. Tiny little eye. Oh my goodness. Kind of got it on there at a bad angle too. There we go. All right, the fly is tied on. Probably a caddis fly is tied on. I'm gonna go on that little island because it greatly decreases the chance of me catching a tree. And I could do that because I remembered that I have waterproof socks. Here's the gorgeous setup. I have my waterproof socks and my Crocs, and I have my pants tucked into my waterproof socks, so it looks like I'm wearing jodhpurs. So I look completely goofy, but I think it will keep my feet relatively warm to cross the water. I don't see any bears. This is going well. Woo, dry land. We got a beautiful mountain over there. And I think I'm gonna go down there. We've got this nice little rocky island. I think this will do. Well, no, I'm not going over there because there's too many trees. So there's another island right there. That's actually an island and not the other side of the river. But it's got a lot of trees. Waterproof socks are the bomb. There are a lot of rocks in this river, so I could lose my fly in the rocks. I did put floatant on it, so hopefully it will float and not get stuck in the rocks, but I don't have that kind of luck. That was fantastic and fun, and I can't believe I'm getting to do this. Life is funny sometimes. Like, did I think a year ago that I'd be in Canada in the Yukon fly fishing on the North Klondike River? No. I mean, I was hoping that I'd be doing some traveling, but I don't know. My imagination did not lead me to this, which is awesome. But believe it or not, it's actually getting late. And it's about time for me to turn in. So I'm heading back to the car. My silly jodhpurs, my waterproof socks, worked great. On the way back, I did go in a little over the top of the socks and got my pants a little bit wet, but that's okay. And I could always wear shorts with these, but I'm wearing pants because of the mosquitoes. These are permethrin treated pants and they keep the buggies away. Although, knock on wood, the buggies are not too bad right at this instant. Putting the rod and reel on top. Camp is fully set up. My belly is full. I did some fishing. So I'm turning in for the night. And I want to thank all of you for coming along with me. It's amazing that you're coming along with me. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, like, comment, all that stuff. It costs nothing and it really does help. We'll see you down the road.